Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Mysterious Galaxy virtual event. I am Nick, the Director of Events and Digital Marketer for Mysterious Galaxy. Today, we are joined with author Seressia Glass for her book, The Love Con. Thank you for being here, Seressia.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
In conversation is Judy Prince-Neeb. Hi, Judy.
Hello.
Seressia is an award-winning author of romance and urban fantasy. With a book like The Love Con, that's a perfect combination, I would think. And Judy is a children's services librarian and the discussion leader for our very own Mysterious Galaxy Romance Book Club, which if you're interested, you should definitely go to our website, check it out. But we are here for The Love Con, which is very cute. It's about a woman who feels like she's born in the wrong family. She just wants to make anime and cosplay her life. She gets the chance, but a little old thing called love gets in the way. What's up with that? For any one of you who hasn't yet bought the book, you can actually hit the link below. There is a buy books and get signed personalized book plates and swag tab because you can get a signed or personalized book plate if you're willing. And they come, here, I have to show this off. It comes with a cute little bookmark. Look at that. I know my camera, there we go. My camera's now doing it justice. That is so cute. And book plate. So yes, you can get all that for ordering the book through Mysterious Galaxy. If you have any questions that you want to ask the author, go ahead and hit the Ask a Question link below to submit your question. I'm done rambling. I'm going to get out of here so I can let our lovely author and conversation partner go on. All right. I'll see y'all later.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nick. Oh my gosh. Seressia, I am so excited to talk to you because, yeah, as a fellow nerd, I got my Star Wars swag. I made sure that I was behind my husband's DC collection to represent all of nerddom, just, in correlation with this amazing book. And we kind of were discussing it before, but, you're in Atlanta, you got Dragon Con.
Yes.
I'm from, the West Coast. We've got Comic-Con. What makes going to conventions so much fun because Kenya is such a passionate person for nerdom and cosplay, but why do you like, connecting with Comic-Cons and Dragon Con?
Well, you're with your people. It's like you find your people and you're just like, oh my God, they're as geeky and nerdy as I am. So I just really love to go. And, there's some standoffish people, but it's very difficult to be standoffish at Dragon Con because there's so much people watching and people in costumes and everybody's is doing their fandom whichever way they want to, and it's just the vibe of it is just so awesome, and I just really love to be there in the crowd, even though I'm an introvert and I might be up against a wall or I might be hanging in the food court, when I'm not going to panels or something, but it's just being in that vibe of people having fun, celebrating the geeky stuff that they love. It's just awesome. And I just love to go as much as I can.
Yeah. I know, I'm the same way. Just, you never know what you're going to find. You're never going to know who you're going to see. Years ago, when I started going to Comic-Con, I was just walking down the aisle and there's an author that I really admire, and I got to go up and talk to him without, just relax. And even with as busy as Comic-Con can be, it's still finding that tribe. And I always thought that was great. And what led you to get into, because I know you're a huge anime fan, which I want to pick your brain because I'm not knowledgeable about anime as I probably want to. What kind of led you into the geeky path?
Oh, that's a good question. Comic books, I think, is that comics are everybody's gateway drug, getting into this. So when I was eating my cereal at breakfast time, I always liked to read. So I was reading cereal boxes, and then, my brother had comics, and so I started reading his comics, and then I realized that, I could go to the store and buy more comics. And so I just started having that collection. And then, cartoons, of course, this eating my cereal Saturday morning with Saturday morning cartoons, which I know doesn't happen anymore on the over the air channels. But G-Force, Battle of the Planets. I'm going way back, y'all. So, the original Transformers, Speed Racer, even. Um, oh, there were so many that I just loved growing up. And then just realizing that there's a difference between cartoons and anime, and just kind of growing and expanding and finding channels and finding new things to watch. And then, of course, getting my addiction through Netflix, because Netflix is another gateway drug if you don't do the comics. So yeah, so I just started watching all of that and finding some favorites. And um, then I heard about Dragon Con. When was it? I was like 16 something. Friends, because again, this is how friends get you into your addictions, just like always. So I got well, wait, before Dragon Con, the Renaissance Festival happened. So there's a Georgia Renaissance Festival. I know, see, my people. So I went there and it's like, okay, I don't know what this is, eating a turkey leg and watching some kind of play or whatever. So I went and then it's like, and it's like, oh my God, there's people in costumes. They're acting stuff out. There's a place where I can buy that costume. Oh my God. So that's where I got my first corset and my first, I've cosplayed as a tavern witch, as you do. So, and that just kind of started the whole costuming thing. It's like people walk around like this and it's no big deal. Oh my gosh, let me just do this. So it was a lot of fun doing that. And then right after the Renaissance Festival, it's like, let's go to Dragon Con. I'm like, sure, what is Dragon Con? And then once I got there, I'm like, oh my God, this is heaven. That's what this is. So it was just great seeing so many people just enjoying so many different things, whether they're robotics geeks or anime geeks or cosplay geeks or gaming geeks. It was nirvana. And I was like, I have found my people and it is good. So, just like it's just a slippery slope. And I just really enjoy sliding down it, basically.
I know. So into anticipation of this, I went back and looked at like old Comic-Con photos, and I was finding like back when San Diego Con wasn't nearly as insane. There's this one time I could just walk into Hall H, which Hall H, for anyone who's gone to San Diego Comic-Con, is you have to like wait like a day and camp out. But this was back in 2011 where I could just walk in, and it was a conversation between Jon Favreau and Guillermo del Toro. And then he's like, oh yeah, come to my panel tomorrow. I'm going to introduce the cast of Pacific Rim. And there's Idris Elba just sitting there. And like the fact that just I could do that. I know he was just as pretty as you think he is. And they're like, oh yeah, but we're also going to talk about other films that are in Legendary. And there's Jeff Bridges and then Bradley Cooper. And I'm like, what is this? What is happening?
Wow.
And it's just those random bits of, okay, I'm going to go dive into this. This sounds crazy. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to go dive into this. And who knows what you're going to find. And I think that's the best part about conventions and geekdom. Because, right. I mean, for cosplay, you have to learn sewing. You got to learn different technical skills that you're like, oh, we're just going to put that together. And I love how, like, Cameron and Kenya, the amount of time that is spent on a particular project. I love how you showed that it takes work. It's not just,
yes,
it's, and I think that's what we love about reality shows too. Like I watch a lot of Drag Race, so I know how much work goes into those outfits. But why did you want to write a story about cosplay in general?
Well, because it was a way to get my geekdom out. I've been writing romance and urban fantasy and paranormal romance for a while, but I never really, and the paranormal and the urban fantasy was kind of exploring my geekdom a little bit, but I wasn't like full bore into it. So I'm like, you know what? I really want to just write about the stuff that I really love and that I'm interested in. And so I'm like, I want to write a book about cosplay. And my agent was like, what? And then I was like, okay, so here's the pitch. Project One Runway, but cosplayers with fake dating, one bed, friends to lovers. She's like, let's do it. So it was a lot of fun just kind of, doing it. And then it's like, and gummy worms, because it's like, I love gummy bears and I don't get to eat them anymore. So I had to put them in the book. Or gummy worms, because they are good stress relievers. If you've never snapped the head off of a gummy bear, you're missing out on some good therapy there, let me tell you. But yeah, so I forgot what that was a big segue there. I'm so sorry about that. I just went off the runway ramp there. But anyway, so getting back to I forgot what it was. It was about
Oh,
cosplay, and how did I get into it?
cosplay,
Oh,
but
the link.
yeah,
Okay, yeah. So
it's all
me,
good. It's all good.
I will be zinging. I had another cup of coffee like 20 minutes ago, so I will be ping ponging everywhere. Sorry, guys.
It's all
Sorry
good.
about that.
You're all good.
But
Yeah.
yeah, I love cosplay. I admire the people. I have friends who put on these elaborate things that they've been sewing for months, and I'm just like, I can't do that. I can hold a hot glue gun and I can probably glue something onto something, and that's about the limit. So I'm one of those. I'm a consumer, so I will source my my stuff that I like to do, want to wear, but I probably would never ever be able to, create my own costume and lay out a pattern and get that right and all that stuff. Yeah, I've watched videos on YouTube, with other creators, and it's just like I bow down. I just I know that I can't. I prick my fingers sewing on buttons, so I know I'm not going to be able to put a costume together. I would hot glue my fingers together in a second. I actually did do that when I had a little gemstone jewelry making kind of thing that I did for a bit. So yes, I know all about the hot glue and why you should not put that around certain people. So like me.
I love it. I love it. I'm the same way. Like that's what party cities are for. That's what Spirit Halloween is for. I will help
Hmm.
the economy. I know my skills, and
Exactly.
it's not that. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, perfect.
Absolutely.
But
Yep.
and I think that's why I love Kenya's. Like there's parts of when I was reading the book where I just wanted to dive in. I'm like, Kenya, can I be your best friend? Because she was such an amazing character. She's so amazing. She's dealing with, and I appreciate what romance does nowadays. It's not just boy, girl, or girl, or girl, boy, or non-binary, whichever gender aspect that you want to go for, gender identity, and the love story. But there's also conversations about personal identity. I love that she's dealing with, I mean, I don't love that she's dealing with anxiety, but I love that you were showing what it meant to deal with anxiety and also microaggressions.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to stab Rebecca. And for those who haven't read the book, you will understand why this Apple Pencil needs to be in that woman's throat, because it's like, what is this? What is this? So I was really thinking about Kenya a lot with her anxiety, but I was also thinking about how this is a woman who is not allowing herself to say, I need permission to exist and I need permission to do these particular things that makes her happy. And I was wondering if maybe you could kind of go on that a little bit, because I found it so fantastic, and amazing.
So sorry, my husband made an appearance and I got diverted because he had a question, as spouses do when you're in the middle
I
of
know.
doing a crowdcast.
Yeah, before
So
we started, I had to kick my husband out of the kitchen, so I understand.
so you basically want to know kind of why Kenya is the way she is, or why I created her the way she is,
kind of
or
kind of like the concept of giving yourself permission to not even just exist, but just giving yourself permission to be happy in what you do.
yeah, okay. So I had to learn that one the hard way myself. So this kind of is my gift, I guess you could say, to this character,
Hmm.
because people of a certain age, they run out of, can I use bad words? Your field of fucks gets barren. So and I'm at that age where I am too tired to give many fucks these days. So I wanted her to be somebody, but I remember being in my 20s. Not going to say how long ago that was, but I remember being self-conscious, especially being a plus size person. I remember those kind of anxiety filled moments where you're not sure that you should be doing this, or where there's the doubt train and everything's getting on and going on the journey with you. So I just wanted to, but I do know some wonderful people who just always celebrated themselves, because if you don't celebrate yourself, who's going to celebrate it for you? So I just wanted her to be this person who is happy she's happiest doing what she loves, and she has surrounded herself with the people who will support her and cheer her on. And I just think that to me is the most important thing, whether it's your family or your found family. Having those people who get who you are and will support you doing what you love to do, I think that that's just the best thing in the world. So I always like to kind of write my heroes and heroines with a support network with them, so that, you know, even though they might make some mistakes or not listen to the best advice, because when do we ever? I do like that she is so she was deliberately, her characteristics were deliberately chosen because I wanted her to be um, not the stereotypical strong black woman or the angry black woman, but I just wanted her to be confident. And you know, she's been plus size all her life, so she knows how. And as a seamstress, she knows how to work her curves to her advantage. And she's happy dressing her curves, and so she's happy making these costumes that might not be the mainstream view of what that character should embody, you know, but she's like, you know, screw you guys, later haters, and I'm going to do what I want to do. So I just really like that she's very refreshing in that way, at least for me.
Yeah, yeah. I know, that's one reason I love her so much. And Cameron is the perfect book boyfriend. I don't usually use that phrase very often because I know it can be very, you know, personal and everything, but he was perfect. He was absolutely perfect. And what I appreciate the fact that you had that kind of Thor element to him, the way that you were describing him. So I was picturing Chris Hemsworth, as we all should.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
mean,
but
yeah. Let's picture him
yeah,
now. Okay.
yeah. I
Well,
don't follow many celebrities on Instagram, but he is one I do. But
yeah, for his
yeah,
workout regimen. That's why I follow him.
yes,
Yes.
for reasons,
Yes. Oh,
academic.
research. Of course.
But why? What was your inspiration for writing Cameron in the way that you did?
Well, because Thor, number one. But he just kind of came about really organically. Because I was writing him and I'm like, okay, he's too perfect. I've got to smudge him up a little bit. So what can I do? And why have they been friends so long? So I had to start asking myself those questions. And then these scenes came up, and then, you know, one day as I was writing him, he whispered, "Hey, I lost my mother when I was a preteen, and that's kind of driven everything. And that's why my father's an alcoholic right now. So kind of needed an escape. And Kenya and her family gave me that escape." I'm like, damn, dude, but okay, let me write this down. This is pretty good. So, yeah, so I just wanted to make sure that he not only was his own person outside of Kenya, but um, he had his reasons for being dedicated to the Davenports, but especially to Kenya because basically she rescued him because he was about to go down a dark path. So I really liked that, how they bonded and how they were ride or die for each other since they were kids, since they were teenagers, basically. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, so I definitely wanted to try my hand at a cinnamon roll hero, and so I think I did a pretty good job. So I mean, you know, I even had him eat a cinnamon roll at one point because I just like, he's a cinnamon roll hero. I'll just beat you over the head with it. So now you know. If you didn't know
That poor
before, you
man.
know when he eats a cinnamon roll. So, ta-da!
I'm just picturing him all covered in icing, like, I'm just
Right,
existing. What do you
she
want
beats
from
him over the
me?
head with a pastry. Yes. So that's it.
I need a sequel for this now. Yeah, this is great.
I know. So it's like, how do they live together now that they have finally admitted their feelings and they want to get married? What is that going to be like? And then they've got this whole production thing. If spoiler alert, um, you know, they get this gig. We'll just say it like that. So, you know, it would be interesting to see what happens next with them, and some more cosplay and some anime watching because I need to throw some anime, more anime in there. That would be great. Oh, well,
Sequel.
thank you.
Sequel. Sorry, I
Well,
have a cough. It's not COVID. It's fine. It's just sometimes a sequel comes out. I apologize.
well, it's almost time to pitch the next two books to my publisher. So maybe I'll say, you know, maybe just a novella of what's going on with them. That might be cool.
Love it.
That's a little peek.
Well, then, speaking of which, what is your writing process? Because obviously you have your characters talk to you and have these amazing conversations. What is your writing process?
I have tried to be a plotter, but I'm a Gemini, and that takes precedence. So I'm split-minded and split-brained about everything, and I also have a short attention span. So bird. So I just can't. I can write a synopsis, and I can kind of nail down. I nail down what the three act turns are, the points of those three acts, and I know what's going to happen at the end, kind of, sort of, basically, mostly. But then all the rest of that stuff, no idea. So I don't. So basically, I have them. I put them in a room, and I'm like, okay, here's the situation. Go. Basically, and then I just kind of have them act, and I'm just transcribing how they're acting, basically. And sometimes little scenes will just pop up at the worst times, like when I'm at the doctor's office, or when I'm driving. Usually, it's when I'm driving, in shower. Yeah, so the bits and pieces of scenes will come to me, and then so I have to write it down. And as a matter of fact, right here, I have a notebook that's because sometimes I write longhand, so
Oh, wow.
I know it's insane, but trust me, again, author of a certain age, I had to write longhand to turn reports in. So so I'm used to writing long stuff longhand and then just typing it into the computer later. And honestly, it does help me. Writing longhand helps me hit my word count, and then when I type it in, it actually does expand it. So there's little details and nuances and stuff that I didn't pick up when I'm writing longhand that I do kind of weave in while I'm transcribing it, basically. So that's a lot of fun. So it's fun discovering the characters. It's not fun when you're busting up against your deadline and you got to turn the book in, and they're still, will you guys just get to the point? Or it's like, this is what I told you to do. And they're like, nah, man, we're going to do this over here instead. And so, like, okay, you guys win. So it'll be a better story if we do it your way. I know I argue with them like they're real people, but, sometimes I have to do that because it makes me understand them better. When I can understand them better, then how they act and react, actually, I think comes across even better. So that's why it's like, okay, Cameron, you got to give me something here. You're just too perfect. I need something to make you less perfect. Is there anything you can give me? So, things like that. And so with Kenya, she was so living her best life. So I needed to give her something that would knock her down a peg. And of course, a judge like Becky, was a natural choice. But then also, the tough love that her parents give her, that is really intense in some spots. And I wanted to stab them a couple of times too. I'm like, why are you making me write these people like this? And it's like, it'll be good for the end of the book, trust me. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna make her parents those parents. Everybody has probably either have parents like hers or know somebody who has parents like theirs, who want them to achieve, but want them to achieve the way they want them to, the way the parents want them to, instead of the way that the child wants to. So living up to parental expectations can be really tough, especially when your parents are very technical and you're very creative, and you're just like, y'all must have switched me or something in the hospital, because this don't feel right. So I mean, she got the degree because that's what they wanted her to do, and she actually uses that to help Cam in the shop with the scheduling and programming some files and stuff. So that's why she was able to do that, because she knew that she could help Cam out. But she could also still kind of try to do her own thing, running some cosplay stuff out of the fabrication shop that they were doing. So and again, I went off a runway, and I have no idea what I'm supposed to be answering.
I'm living. If you're fine, there's just me, like, you're when you're talking, there's one of me, like, I was putting my hand up like I was preaching, like, yes, come to the choir, because, like, Kenya's parents remind me a little bit of my own, where they did have very specific expectations, like, well, you are potentially in a gifted program, like, I have anxiety and depression, what do you want from me? Like, this is not the direction. And there was, I think that's why I loved her so much, because I have gone down that path a lot. And no, I you are speaking, and I am loving it, and I'm here for it. So don't ever think you're rambling, because I'm like, yes. I've got my listening face like, yes, I'm here for this. I'm loving it. But this segues into, because there's one question that's popped up that I was actually going to be asking as well. Research, because you are not just known for being Seressia Glass, you are also known for Mallory Malone. Am I correct?
Oh, you dug
Yeah.
her out.
Oh.
Oh no,
I
no,
pulled out the library science, okay? Because anytime,
awesome.
as someone who studied Tolkien, like I see, oh, hey, there's Irish and Vikings. Let's go. What is this? So
Um,
obviously, and then with the urban fantasy, and then you've got this other personality. Like, how much research have you done for your other books, and then how much research outside of your own experience for Comic Cons did you do for the LoveCon?
well, okay, let's start present and then we'll go back in
Okay,
time.
sorry. Yeah, I know. I threw a lot out. See, you're not the only one who like goes everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I was saying at the beginning with the LoveCon, I knew that I had to go into more. Okay, confession number one, I don't watch reality television. I don't. So I don't know how those shows actually work. So people were telling me, it's like let's make it like a design competition. They're like, oh, Project Runway. I'm like, should do I? Okay, Project Runway. So they're runway models, or no, they're the people who dress runway models, and they are in a competition. Okay, that kind of sounds like what I want to do with the cosplayer No Way. So let's do that. And so I watched a couple of episodes for that, but mainly what I did was watch creators creating their things. So I watched people do the Iron Man mark whatever numbers they're going at now, how they were making the armor, and I'm just like, oh my god, this is freaking intense. I wish that I could. It might be fun to do this, but I would be the one that would poison myself trying to, paint the foam in a closed room with just a ceiling fan going. I'd be the one that would be found passed out, covered in foam, because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Um, so yeah, so doing that and just doing some research, finding out how they get started, which was like a week, 2 weeks being down the rabbit hole of YouTube. um, so that was a lot of fun for that. I didn't have to research gummy worms. I didn't have to research glue guns fails, because been there, done that. Let's see, what else did I didn't have to research how to make spaghetti, because I do that way too often. And hating on haters, or telling haters to kick rocks and go on down the road. I've done that quite a few times too. So yeah, the research was mainly about the different parts of the costume build, and making sure, because I was terrified that I wouldn't get that right. Especially since I don't make costumes, I buy costumes and buy parts for them. So I wanted to, I joined a couple of Facebook groups that commission, where people can go and commission work. So I was able to one, commission something, and two, just kind of look at the request and see how long people say it will take them to get that done, and how much it would cost them to do that. So that was kind of eye opening. And when I was wanted to do the scene where the people come and wanted to order the wings, I went out and looked, because I'm like, it actually would be cool to have some wings, like big, massive articulating wings. And then I saw how much those would cost. I'm like, okay, I'll just buy a new car instead. Let me just do that. So, but research is always fun. Unfortunately, you can get dragged down into your research that you forget that there's a book deadline coming up, and you probably should be focused on that instead. So I had to pull back. So I hope that what I did put in and what I did show, I'm not going to get any professional or very good cosplayers mad at me for how I depicted it. So I hope I did it justice, and if not, you can feel free to email me and tell me what I should do better. So let's see, and then stepping back in time. So Mallory Malone, the Viking story, how that happened, and I wrote that story, believe it or not, before Vikings, the History Channel series came out. So how did I do that? Again, Gemini, remember? So I got on an Irish kick for some strange reason, I don't know, I watched something or read something. I don't know what happened, but it just hit me on a, what if I write a story about some Vikings that are kind of like fleeing their homeland for reasons, and then they just kind of hear that there's this big, settlement that's going on in Ireland by way of Britain, and let's just kind of throw them in there and see what happens. And then, of course, the Irish don't like the Vikings all that much, especially since this big battle killed so many people on both sides. So for added pleasure and fun and hijinks, let's just intention, let's make it happen right after this big giant battle that ended. And the hero lost his brother and his nephews in that battle, and she lost a couple of people, but it's basically the Irish were fighting the Vikings, and having Vikings still kind of show up and around. Of course, they're going to think that they're the bad people, and she's just like, I just want to live my life. Hey, there's a theme again. I just want to live my life, and I don't want to do what my evil stepbrother wants me to do. So I'm going to run away from home with my brother and my our best friend, and that's kind of how that story just kind of got set out. So she's kind of like a fish out of water, because she's so used to swinging her sword, and now she's got to be basically the lady of the castle. She's like, I have no idea how to do this. I don't know how to pluck a chicken. I just know how to kill things. So she's good. She can kill the chicken, but the whole plucking of it is a whole totally other different thing. So yeah, I did a bunch of research on that. I was living in Athens when I started this book, and so I went to the Athens, Georgia. Sorry, not Athens, Rome. Don't I wish? Athens, Georgia, and I went into the UGA library there, and I just found this ancient history of a short history of ancient Ireland. Ooh, that was published in 1908. So I had a 1908 copy of a book about Irish traditions and customs in my hand. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And because, again, information nerd as well. So finding all of those little things that I can pepper into the story about how the society was, and all the things that they do, and the justice system, and how the women decorate themselves, and how they wear their hair. All of that stuff was all very cool. So it was just fun. So I just wrote it for fun, and then I'm like, maybe we should like see if somebody might want to buy this. And so that's kind of how that happened. Because I just really loved the story, and I wanted to get out there, and I didn't want it to be confused with me. Why is this chick writing some Irish medieval Viking age stuff? So that was another reason to have the nom de plume basically on that. And so basically I wanted Mallory Malone to write books that didn't necessarily fit under the Seressia Glass umbrella. So like the billionaire boxers, MMA fighters in New Orleans. So there's a whole series of those too. And my husband and I watch a lot of MMA or UFC. So we were actually watching Fight Night last night, as a matter of fact. And we'll be watching next weekend too. So, again, apparently I like to write about my hobbies or my interests, no matter what those interests are. So yeah, again, squirrel. And there I go on something. So yeah, so she did those things. But way back before everything else, I was a fan of ancient Egypt. So any kind of documentary, any kind of, the stupid mummy movies, all of that stuff. If it was about ancient Egypt, I was there. I was parked in my chair watching it. So when I decided to do urban fantasy, I was like, I have this character, but I have nothing about her. So let's have her worship Mot, the goddess of balance that, is with Anubis when he's weighing the heart. So then it became this whole construct about light and shadow balancing each other out in a contemporary world. So Mot and her watcher, all of those people are on the side of light, and then there are creatures that are on the side of shadow. So she's a shadow chaser, and she has to basically keep the city of Atlanta from imploding under these bad guys. But I also wanted them to not be necessarily just cut and dry good and evil. So a lot of the people who are light and a lot of people who are shadow are just want to do their jobs. They want to just work and then go home and put their feet up. So just because they're shadowlings doesn't mean that they're bad people. They're just out there trying to get a paycheck and go home and date and all of that other good stuff. Uh, so she is kind of friends with a whole network of people across the spectrums, basically. But her job is to hunt down the shadowlings, basically the little demons, the fallen, all those kind of creatures. So, yeah, thank you, Victoria. They probably are. There's probably a box set on sale, Victoria. Sorry, I'm just realizing that there's stuff scrolling up on the side over here.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
there's this whole thing where she can't touch people because her gift is she's able to read things, read people, but she can, it can have devastating consequences. So her day job basically is an antiquities expert because she can read things by touching them. And at night she does this whole shadow chasing business. And so one day she comes across, she's asked, her the guy that she finds out is her handler, but actually works at the British Museum, wants her to take a look at this dagger. So he comes to where she is in America, in Atlanta, and brings this dagger to her. And the dagger is kind of half sentient. So because it's been around for, 4,000 or 5,000 years, and it's killed some people. So, it kind of drinks the blood of the things it kills. And, it's kind of like half sentient. So, she's like, okay, we got to defuse this thing. But then the dagger's owner comes looking for it, and he's a 4,000-year-old Nubian warrior named Kafar, who was rewarded the dagger from the pharaoh because he kind of helped. He outperformed in a battle, basically. So that's how he got the dagger. But when it was time to go home, he found that some war band had come in and killed all of his family, his villagers. So he just kind of went on a revenge warpath tour. And and then after he killed all the people he could kill and salted the earth and all of that good stuff, he just kind of went into a cave and was like, okay, I'm going to just lay here and die. And then Isis was like, no, son, you can't do that. So I'm going to let you, I am going to keep you alive until you save a life for every life that you took. So so that's what he's been doing for the last 4,000 years, and he never knows who it is that he has to. So yeah, there's my dogs making an appearance in the background, as they do. Oh yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, the first book is 99 cents, I think, in ebook form, of the Shadow Blade. So yeah, I just really had a lot of fun because I loved all the Egyptian mythology. I watch Ancient Aliens way too much for normal people. But I just enjoyed putting all of that Egyptology in there. And like the third book, which is hopefully not the last, but I've been saying that for 10 years. The third book is this Book of the Dead exhibit. That's like a moving exhibit. So it's been touring places. And as it's touring places, people fall into comas and stuff. So it's because people are losing their souls at the end where they are acting out the swaying of the heart. So she's got to investigate that and he's got to investigate that. And there's all kinds of mayhem and foolishness because I just love mayhem and foolishness. So it's just, that series was just so much fun to write. And I really got to get back to it. And again, another side path of that, because ancient Egyptian mythology, I have a Sons of Anubis series, which is basically these jackal shapeshifters who have to prevent the people who didn't want to go to the field of reeds after their soul was weighed and found good. They're trying to come back to the human world and try to live that way, but of course they're kind of like zombies. So the Sons of Anubis are jackal shapeshifters, and they're charged by Anubis to kind of go and keep these people from crossing back over. And sometimes they do, and then they gotta go roll out motorcycle club style and do some killing, basically, or sending people back to where they need to go. So so that's all. That's all my stuff. So that's all the paranormal.
This is why I'm so excited to talk to you, because you've got realistic, you've got this paranormal, you have this historical. We won't talk about it quite yet, but like on another date, like you got that Sugar and Spice series, because I read book 1. Like I try to read as much as I could before I talk to you. You've got so many different, like everyone was like, oh, I've never heard this, the Love Con. Like, no, this is the tip of the iceberg. You look down, you're like, she's been doing a lot of great stuff, and you all need to get
Yeah.
on that. Yeah. So this is why I was literally like, keep talking. I'm excited to hear it. But I'm gonna pause because I'm gonna ask some of the questions that have been asked
Oh,
by
okay.
audience members.
Sorry, guys.
No, you're doing good. Yeah. And Victoria has asked, like, who was your favorite side character to write?
Oh
Probably
crap.
specifically in the
They're all
Lovecraft.
they're all my children. So trying to you don't okay, you don't say out loud which is your favorite child, but I have to say I really love Kenya's relationship with her best friend, and I'm gonna skip on her name, and she's gonna kick my ass if she were real. What's her best friend's name, y'all? I should just
It's,
pull up the book.
I know, I got the book up here as well. It starts with a J?
Yeah.
Gemini.
Yes. I am so. She's named after the singer that did Electric Computer. Janelle.
There we go.
Man. Oh, that hurt. But yeah, I really. Oh, that
COVID
really
brain
did
is
hurt.
real.
Oh, so yes, you may not know this, but I experience brain farts quite a lot in the middle of things. When I'm talking about one thing, another thing pops in, or I totally forget what my characters' names are. Especially, and one time I conflated Kenya and Kira, and that was a whole mess. But yeah, I really like Kenya's relationship with Janelle. I just felt like I wanted to write a girlfriend's friendship into the book, where they are they're different as can be, but they have this commonality of both being in technical fields and getting technical degrees. But while Janelle is doing her thing, pursuing her career that she's got completely mapped out, her life points completely mapped out, there's Kenya, who's just kind of, people think she's just flitting about, but she's really kind of on a road to where she wants to go. So I really liked showing their dynamic with each other. And so with Janelle kind of being the foil for Kenya and kind of driving this story along. It's like, it's about damn time y'all hook up, and then and her relationship that hit her out of the blue. I like her and Dev, and I was kind of thinking, I had one of my author friends, Farah Roshan, was like, "You really need to write them." I'm like, I was not planning on writing a book about them. I don't know if I can write a book about them. So I'm like, okay, I will see if I can do it, Farah. But if I don't get mad at me. She's like, you can write that book about them. So I'm kind of thinking about it. But there are other books that I had planned before them that I have to sell. So, and if I can sell those, then I see if I can sell this one, even if it's just a short book, because it would be really fun to be able to write about that fish out of water kind of, go visit their family, and the meet the parents kind of just wacky romantic comedy kind of thing. About two cultures colliding and all of that. I think it would be a lot of fun if I could pull it off. So I'm just scared I can't pull it off. So that's why I'm reluctant. But I kind of want to do it because it's kind of percolating back here, and I'm just like, oh, that would be so much fun when the families meet each other. It's like, that would just be awesome. Okay, sorry. I did a tangent there, but what was the question?
Anything
it was
that Farah Rashan says, we should always do anyway. So yeah.
right. I know, yeah, because she'll be like, "I told you need to write this book." So yeah, she'll probably remind me in a couple of days once I get out of deadline hell. She'll with the second book, which is about gamers. So it's female gamers. So that's the book that I have to turn in at the end of this month. Oh my God, try not to think about that. But yes,
you'll get it.
Yes.
Yeah. So you actually inadvertently asked Victoria's other question: is what books are you working on now? So it looks like we get a gamer story.
You get a gamer story, and then there is a former socialite in hiding as a school teacher who who's head of a robotics club at a charter school. Well, it's not a charter school. It's kind of like a magnet school. And so she is asked to form a super team with her rival because they are going to be competing in a national robotics championship. So so it's about these two competing robotics teams. Hers is all girls because girl power. I got to do that. Sorry. And then his is like a mixed group, but mostly boys. And so it's about them kind of butting heads, getting together to create robots. So it's kind of like battle bots. I don't know if, again, one of those things that I saw on TV that was really cool and wanted to write stories about battling robots. So that is going to be probably the third book that I write, or we may circle back to the book that's about Dev and Janelle and how they met and how their relationship gets strained when their parents get involved. So, but in fun ways, and because again, mayhem and foolishness has to ensue because that's what I love to do. So, but no angst. I'm off of angst now, so I have a little bit because I've got to have the emotional gut punches in there. But yeah, I still like it's a lot of fun writing snarky, sarcastic people being snarky and sarcastic because sometimes I'm snarky and sarcastic, so I can do that. Other things I'm working on, so that, and then there was something else. I can't remember. Oh yeah, the anime one has got to come in. I started thinking about that one a little bit because you had to have the long range plan, so they'll keep wanting to buy books. So I have to keep coming up with ideas that they'll want to buy because I like internet and eating and stuff like that. So it's great to keep writing books so I can keep getting paid.
I gotta pay the bills. Yeah.
Right. Again. And those dogs eat a lot of food, man. Whew.
I got student loans. I understand.
Yeah. So,
I see you, Navient, trying to come for me. No.
Oh my God. Yeah. It would be so nice if those could get yeeted into the sun.
Yes.
Yes. So yes, I definitely want to do female gamers. Okay. Which I know who you are, Mysterious Galaxy, that's talking about the female gamers. So I will probably be hitting you up for some information. So to get some more, where to start, where to go. Because, I crush Candy and I do try to get into some of the online games. But not only am I an introvert, I'm also high anxiety. So you can hear my voice shaking right now. So I don't like to get in games where I'm going to be ambushed as soon as I teleport in. So there's some that I just can't do because I just would get so mad.
I play Animal Crossings on my phone. I don't even have a Nintendo. It's just like, this is it. This is all. I've got my Super Mario Brothers. I'm a Nintendo person. I don't need to have the stress. Like, I like watching Twitch. In fact, I might email you later. I have a potential good Twitch person that you might want to follow for
awesome.
Girl Gamer. So yeah.
That'd be cool.
So backyard deals in the back. Okay.
Okay. Awesome.
And then another really great question that I really liked was, did you learn anything about yourself while writing the Love Con?
Yeah, because again, I part of it was learning that my fuse was really short and putting up with other people's foolishness. But I do the bless your heart. So it's bless your pea picking heart. You are such an idiot, but God bless you. I will do that. Because I can be as southern as my grandmama used to be when I want to be, and I just kind of try to lose it occasionally, but y'alls do come out quite a bit. I am a y'all person, so I will y'all all day long. So there was a lot of y'alls up in that book too, because I wanted to say, hey, this is how people talk in Atlanta. They might not be country, but they will say y'all. So but yeah, so I just kind of learned. It was kind of reinforcing that whole found family, finding your tribe, and hanging and having that network of people that have your back, and also talking, trying to deal with anxiety in whatever way you can. If you can't do therapy, maybe do some gummy worms or something like that. But again, it helps to have those game nights or whatever where you get with your people and just kind of hang out and just chill, or shoot people up. shoot people up in the games. Shoot at people in the games, in the online games that they play at this place called Game and Flame. That's what they're shooting. They're shooting non-real people. Okay, they're not shooting each other up. I promise. We don't do that.
Yeah, I deal with LA traffic. I've seen things. You're good.
Okay. Yeah. So
I love
we
it.
don't do that.
I love it.
Whew, okay, this is epic. I really appreciate this, y'all. This was fun. Okay, and I am not drunk because I can't even drink alcohol anymore. So yes, this is me sober. This is just caffeine. And Capri Sun.
Romance. Yeah.
Okay, again, I forgot. Oh, what have I learned about myself? That I will ramble on like a son of a bitch. That's what I learned about myself with this book is that, talking about it and just talking about me is like, because I usually, if we were face to face, I'd be like, that's what I would be. And it's just like, okay, let's wait for this. Let me look at my phone. I'm sure there's some notes in here that I forgot to say, some key points. But like this is a lot of fun. So I'm learning that I can be a talker because I would never have considered myself a talker. And that's what I've been doing for 52 minutes. So, yeah, I've learned a lot about myself.
But like I said, I'm living for it. I'm like, oh yeah, keep going. I'm here for it. This is great. Yeah, and we still have a few questions, and you've been fantastic, and I am so excited I got to meet you. No, you're good. And then, speaking of which, what is your favorite thing about this couple? I mean, we kind of touched upon it a little bit.
Because I just like how they love each other and don't realize that they're in love with each other until they're forced to be a fake couple. So they really are ride or die, even though ride or die I think is played out. But they really have each other's backs, and they're going to make sure that they have each other's back, even when they think that they don't have each other's back, or it's kind of lopsided, the give and take. And because that's what King was like, oh my God, he's doing all this stuff for me. Oh my God, he's doing all this stuff for me. Oh my God, he's like riding to the rescue yet again. And then he's like, look, let me tell you what you've done for me. And I just really loved when he started just naming them off, and it was just like, because I needed to know too, honestly. It's like, she's getting a lot out of this. So what has she been doing for Cam? So besides kneeing him in the nuts in the morning, so so it's like, because that happened one time. If you haven't read the book, that happens one time. That's not really much of a spoiler alert, but it does kind of set up the catalyst for deepening, catching feelings and getting deeper into each other. But so I just, that, calling each other to account when they need to, and straighten each other out when they need to, but but each other knowing that they're doing it out of a place of love, and it's like a kick in the pants they needed to keep on going. So having that support, I just definitely wanted to demonstrate that, and demonstrate how their friendship has stood the test of time. And even if the relationship doesn't pan out, you probably have a good idea that they'll still try to be friends in some kind of capacity. So I just love the way that they joke together and how they're comfortable with each other, even before they, brought love and love making into it. They were really intimate with each other in a way that, girlfriends and boyfriends kind of resent. It's like, you're not supposed to be that comfortable with him. It's like, what do you mean? We're just sitting in bed and I got my hair cap on and we're just eating popcorn, watching our shows that, he recorded for me while I was in LA. What's the big deal? We often fall asleep in bed together. It's no big deal. Don't get mad. This is why you're an ex. You just can't understand.
I think Childish Gambino says it best. Like, don't be mad because I'm doing me better than you doing yourself. So, yeah.
Yes, that's it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Living their best life. So, I just love that. But so there's another question.
Oh no, keep going. I was going to say that we've got like time for two more things. So because I know I could talk to you for a lot more, but we're coming down to.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's like 5 minutes left.
We just be friends.
Okay.
Yeah. I was just gonna.
Okay,
say,
yeah, go
'cause
ahead.
Nick has a quick question of like what got cut from your first draft that you really wish made it in. Like, do you have any deleted scenes from the LoveCon?
No, because I missed my deadline on this book because this book was supposed to come out last
Oh,
year. No, wait, it's supposed to be
mhm.
it was supposed to come out in 2020, but 2020 happened. So it was a struggle to write about happy when so many unhappy things were happening in America, and locking down, being sequestered, people dying for various different reasons. So it was really hard to uh, write the book in spots, especially trying to write the book happy. So yeah, so I missed the deadline, then I missed the next deadline, and then I set a definite deadline. I'm going to get this book to you, and they luckily I have a great agent and great editors. So they were able to understand, especially when I got diagnosed as bipolar, which I know you guys can't tell that I'm like that at all. So getting medicated for that, getting on a treatment program for that kind of actually helped, even though I'm feeling kind of manic right now. But so it did kind of help me hone in and be focused and actually get the book done. So like I said, sometimes I have to just write longhand to do that. So they gave me the grace to finish the book. And even though I turned in a hot mess, a hotter mess than I usually do, because I know the story, but sometimes I don't communicate the story. So my editor's got to go, you really need to tell us how this game show, this reality show works. I'm like, oh, I didn't say that. Okay, I didn't say what the stakes are. Oh, I should probably say what the prize is, right? So this kind of stuff like that. That is like I know it is up here. Of course I said that. And then she's like, here, look at page 7. Oh, I did not say that, did I? Okay. So there's actually more that went in because sometimes I tend to be really lean because I don't have a zero draft or a first draft. Here's the book I just finished 5 hours ago, actually at midnight, and I'm putting it in your inbox at 12:02 of the deadline day. So yeah, so that's kind of how it goes. So any deleted scenes? I'm trying to think if there would have, because I could have, yeah. So there was kind of like some more snarky stuff that was going on with the ex-girlfriend. And I really didn't want her to be like the evil ex, because, that's passe. People write about evil exes. And she wasn't really evil. She wasn't really bad. She just, because, she wanted to break up with him after when he was like, yeah, I'm not feeling that, man. I don't want to marry you. I don't want to move in because, I'm living with my best friend and we're good like that. Because basically he had a thing for Kenyan. See, I was about to do it again. So because he had a thing for Kenyan, he did not want to not be with her, even though they were just friends. So she's like, okay, well, if you're not going to shit or get off the pot, I guess you're going to get off the pot. So I'm going to get off the pot right now too. So I'm sorry, y'all. So yeah, so that's kind of how that went. So there was some snarkier back and forth with them. So, but I just cut those out. And I'm sorry that we didn't get the last one in.
It is totally fine.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that, like, and you can do this in comments or later on Instagram or what have you. We were just gonna do what we do at Romance Book Club, where we just go around after we talk about a book. We just say, "What are you reading now?" Beyond what our book was. So, but you can bring up. I know you've got Twitter. I know you've got Instagram. Love to know what you're reading on another date. Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't tell you right now because again, I'm on deadline. I've got to. Yeah. There's 3 weeks. I got 3 weeks to turn in this book, y'all. I ain't reading nothing. Sorry. And I definitely can't read in the genre that I'm currently writing. So it has to be something totally different because I don't want things and themes and phrases to kind of color their way into what I'm working on. So basically, to be safe, I just don't read while I'm on the deadline. So maybe I'll read something in March. Who knows?
There we go.
And I want to know about it. Yeah. Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Oh,
absolutely.
Seressia, this has been so fun. You are fantastic. I'm going to be honest with you. I wish you were local to San Diego because you'd be wonderful just to have in the store.
See, again, in person, I don't know if I can do that. I'll just be sitting there with my nose in a book, just like, don't ask me anything. Don't ask me anything. Oh, somebody asked me something.
We could
Darn
we
it,
could
now I
do
gotta answer.
the Sia thing where we just turn you around with a
Yeah.
big wig.
Oh, there you go. That's right. I
Oh,
could just have
yes.
the fringe thing hat that she had on. That would be great too.
Now
Well,
add to the
I can just say that
mystique.
I'm cosplaying, and I can cosplay myself. That's what I'll do. So I'll just cosplay me as an author and just come in there and be like, today the part of Seressia Glass will be played by Seressia Glass. What are her alter egos? We'll figure it out.
I mean, every day I cosplay as an adult, so.
Right?
Yeah, same.
Oh,
Absolutely.
well, thank you so much. And Judy, thank you again. You're a wonderful conversation partner. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for having me.
Of
This was
course.
so much fun, y'all.
And don't forget, everyone, you have plenty of time to get your own copy of the Love Con and all the cute little swag that comes with it, too. It's so pretty. And this will also be available later for viewing on YouTube. So we hope to see you again for our next virtual event. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.